Okay, Shavua Tov, everybody. Baruch Hashem, we're able to do this at 4:50 in the morning. Not bad. Baruch Hashem. We're continuing. A question was sent last week. I'm going to read you the question and explain the question. The question is like this. Where is it? 1 second, we had it here. 1 second. A good question. The guy writes like this. What is the situation in the world from a Breslev point of view regarding Rabbi Nachman's teachings like this? Rabbi Nachman's teachings are here for such a low generation now, but we see chaotic current events and shmad, which is destruction all over. How does the Torah or Breslev Chassidut decipher it? Just to explain better the question. We have such amazing teachings of tzaddikim that have come down. So we should see at least like a lessening of suffering and bad and harshness and destruction and everything in the world. And the guy's writing, but we see just the opposite. That things are getting worse. What's going on? You know, what's happening? So much Torah has come out. So much beautiful Torah. Rabbi Nachman's Torah is unbelievable. It's the Torah of the Geula, of the future, of the redemption. So why aren't things moving in that direction? Why does it seem that things are more severe? Rabbi Nachman himself addressed this in his book, Chayei Moharan. In English, it's called Tzaddik. He says like this, it's very simple. And if you hold on with this, you won't get sucked in from the seeming destruction and negativity and shmad. That's the word he used, shmad, in happening in the world. Rabbi Nachman says in the book Chayei Moharan that before Hashem gives the green light, gives the okay to allow outstanding tzaddikim to come down to this world, so it's possible to serve Hashem with the standard traditional Torah transmission available from the time of Moshe Rabbeinu until now. You can survive and be a regular Jew, even in exile, even in Galut, etc., with the regular Torah transmission. That's enough to keep you afloat. However, he writes, once Hashem allows tzaddikim to come down to this world, to help people come closer to Hashem, to help bring Mashiach, etc., it becomes impossible to serve Hashem, to connect to God, to be saved without the help of these tzaddikim. Okay, one more time, because there's a precision here. That before Hashem gives the green light for tzaddikim to come down to this world, you can manage with normal transmission of the Torah. It's enough. But once Hashem sends tzaddikim to the world, big tzaddikim, that's it. You can't make it on your own. Your Daf Yomi Shir, your Gemara, your local shul, your local rabbi, your status quo Judaism won't be enough to handle the exile, the darkness. This is the explanation. The explanation is given by the author of the book, Bir Likutim. Bir Likutim is a very deep commentary on the Likutei Moharan. He brings this piece, this excerpt from Chayei Moharan, and he explains like this. He says, this is very simple. This is the law of positive and negative energy. That whenever you have a positive force in the world, so for the sake of free will, there has to be an equal negative force. So what does that mean? If Hashem allows big tzaddikim to come down into the world, coming down with that for the sake of free will, there has to come down an equivalent level of tumah, of impurity, of evil, of darkness, that it becomes impossible to be saved from it without these tzaddikim. So to answer the guy's question, that yes, we're being hit with big time tests that our ancestors, our grandparents, our great grandparents, 100, 200, 300 years ago, we never heard of such scenarios, of such darkness, of such tests, of such challenges, just to maintain basic normality, basic humanity, basic Judaism, basic emunah, unheard of what we're going through today. Why is this? It's because there are such big tzaddikim in the world, and people are being squeezed in this situation to force them to look elsewhere for help. I have my traditional Judaism, I have my family customs, I have my local rabbi. What's wrong? What's wrong? You see the situations you're going through, and you can't manage them. And you see that people are falling off like in the hundreds, in the thousands. What's going on? What happened to the Shabbat that we had and the Emunah and the Torah that every day was given over? How come it's not clicking? How come it's not enough to keep people in the fold of Yiddishkeit? What's going on? Because there are big tzaddikim out there, you're not looking for them, okay? But the darkness hitting you will leave you no other alternative, no other choice than to, yes, pursue these tzaddikim. This is the explanation. Because such darkness, the darkness is showing that there is so much kedusha out there also, and you have to look for it. You have to be what's called in Hebrew a mevakesh. I'm seeking closeness to Hashem. I see that what I have is not enough. This attitude is what brought all the people who came close to Rabbi Nachman and his teachings to do so. Classic example is Rav Nosson. You can read his biography in the amazing book called Through Fire and Water, The Life of Rav Nosson of Breslev. You'll see that he had everything. He came from a very prominent and wealthy family. He had a good upbringing. He was knowledgeable in the Torah, in business. He had everything, and yet he felt empty. He felt no connection to God. He felt his davening was like talking stones, was like talking to the wall. He didn't feel that connection. And when he saw elder Hasidim, students of Rav Zusha of Anapoli, students of the Maggid of Mizrich, students of Rav Yitzchak of Berdichev, which he eventually came close to, he felt jealous. He said, how come they feel it? I have everything and I don't feel it. I have Torah, I have money, I have lineage, I have everything, and yet I feel empty. And there's a big chance if Rav Nosson would continue that way, he would have chas v'shalom, fallen off totally. Rabbi Nachman once hinted to Rav Nosson that if he would not have come close to him, he would have become one of the biggest opponents to him. You hear that? Rabbi Nachman told Rav Nosson, you would have been opposed to me. Just the opposite happened. Rav Nosson, Baruch Hashem, saw the greatness and the power of Rabbi Nachman and his teachings, and he sacrificed his whole life, dedicated his whole life to spread as far and as wide as possible Rabbi Nachman's light and teachings, so it should be as available as possible, and there should be a continuity and a momentum, which is what you see today, over 200 years later, and these teachings are helping to save people. Every day we hear another story, another person where he was going through what he was going through. A guy had alcohol addiction, drug addiction, marriage problems, children problems, all types of crazy things, and also regular people with davening problems, emunah difficulties, and they found solace. They found a haven in Rabbi Nachman's teachings, that somebody understands what they're going through and offers practical, tangible advice. So in the end, this is the thing. We're being tested big time now, more than ever before. Like the rabbis in the Gemara in Sanhedrin, they say, and also in Sota, many rabbis said, I do not want to be here before Mashiach comes. I don't want to be in the generation before Mashiach comes because of the big tests that we're going through. And it's true, we're going through big tests. But at the same time, the reason why we're going through the big tests is because we have access to such high levels of Kedusha that simply didn't exist before. They didn't exist, these levels of Kedusha that we have access to today. Because of that, we're being tested the way we're being tested. We have access to such amazing teachings of the Hasidut that people never heard of. The teachings that you can connect to and feel such a warm connection. People didn't have that 200 years ago, 300 years ago, 400 years ago. They had standard Judaism and that was enough for them. But us feeling today the darkness, and it's like everywhere. It's like in the Parsha, Parsha Bo, you can feel V'yamesh choshech, you can feel Memashesh, you can feel the darkness that we're going through, right? Because of that, there's a need for oxygen, there's a need for such light. And there's a rule, the greater the person is sick, the greater the person feels his spiritual sickness, the more he has to seek out the best spiritual doctor. Just like in medicine, person, God forbid, has a major sickness, he doesn't go to the regular family doctor, he goes to the professionals, he goes to the big doctors, the big guys, the guys with the big names, the head of psychology, the head of heart surgery, the head of brain surgery, the head of cancer, oncology, whatever. The person goes to the big guys, right? Spiritually also, when you know you're being hit big time, so you won't settle for your Joe Schmo tzaddik and rabbi. You're going to go for the maximum. You're going to look for the biggest tzaddikim available who can heal you, because I know that I'm really not well. I feel the darkness. So this is the situation. This is the explanation to solve this, that there's so much darkness because there are such tzaddikim and access to such teachings and light of tzaddikim that did not exist in previous generations. Okay, everybody, Shavua Tov. If anybody has a topic, a concept, a question that they would like to bring up for the next class, please send it to me by WhatsApp. My number is +1 732. I'll type it out here also. So it's +1 732 800 1863, or by email, it's breslovtherapy@gmail.com. There you go. Okay, Shavua Tov, everybody. Thank you for joining. Thank you for your time, and Bezat Hashem. Have a great week. All the best. Shalom, shalom.